Hey guys, Hitman89 here, I hope you're doing great. Last time we had the best PS5 games, check it out if you missed it, and today we're gonna be looking at the 15 best Xbox games of 2024. But before we have a look at the first game, don't forget to check out Instant Gaming, the best place to get your games for cheap. The latest PC games are at least $10 cheaper here, and if you're interested in older games, you can save much more on those. You can also get your Game Pass Ultimate cheaper here, which works on both Xbox and PC. Instant Gaming is 100% legit. Everything comes straight from the authorized resellers, so go ahead and use the link in the description to get everything you need for cheap. Now let's have a look at the first game on my list, Stalker 2. This was my most anticipated game this year, and so far, I got killed by bandits, anomalies, mutants, and pretty much anything that moves. Stalker 2 is intense, and I love it. I don't know about you, but these invisible motherfuckers freak me out. Also, this is one of those games where at nighttime, it's pretty much pitch black. Without a flashlight, you won't see shit. And honestly, even with a flashlight, it's not that much better. Speaking of which, to avoid dying every 2 seconds, I turn off my flashlight, hide in the dark and wait for enemies to show up. The second I see some light, I blast those bitches. How come this dumbass didn't notice my flashlight though? Motherfuck! I'm having a blast so far, but technically speaking, Stalker 2 still needs some work. Cause with these outdated graphics, the game should be running at a rock solid 60 FPS, but it's not. Anyway, next we have an underrated game. If you don't have a PS5 or a PC and you want to play something similar to Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, then you should consider Akimbot. It only costs $20, which is great, and it looks decent, the music is excellent, and I like how hacking is done through these mini games. Akimbot is far from being revolutionary, but all around, it's a nice little game that's a mix between a platformer and a third-person shooter, so if you like what you see, check it out. At number 3, we have another game not that many people heard of. I only like racing games where you can play aggressively and beat the shit out of your opponents, and Trailot lets you do just that. It's a blast. That being said, I don't know how the studio behind this game didn't get sued by pretty much everyone. They ripped off flat out. There's a guy called Big Cheese, who's obviously Big Smoke from San Andreas, and this is Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat. Oh, and check out the voice acting.
You really don't remember me, do you?
What are you talking about?
This is one of those instances where the voice acting is so bad it's good.
Fuck you!
At number 4, we have another hilarious game. Squirrel With A Gun will probably remind you of Mario Odyssey, except here, you're a squirrel and you have a gun. Anyway, apart from jumping around and climbing on stuff to get those nuts, you'll also be fighting these special agents. The executions are hilarious, but if you want a more serious game, then maybe the 5th one on my list is what you're looking for. The Thaumaturge has been out on PC since March, but it's finally releasing on PS5 and Series X on December 4th. I feel like not enough people heard of this game, but if you like The Witcher, and even though the setting is quite different here, you'll get similar vibes from the Thaumaturge. The world is intriguing, you'll have to examine your environment, look for clues, investigate, talk to people, and manipulate them by using the saluters you tamed to get what you want. You'll also be able to use those demonic spirits during fights, which are turn-based by the way. If you're on the fence about this one, try out the demo and see for yourself. But if the Thaumaturge is definitely not your cup of tea and you're more into action-adventure games, then you'll be happy to know Kenna Bridge of Spirits finally landed on Xbox. Here, you play as a spirit guide and basically, you help dead people move from the physical world to the spirit world. And to do that, you use these cute little creatures. They're called Rot and they're your slaves. You make them carry heavy objects for you and do your dirty work. Don't let the colorful art style fool you. Kenna Bridge of Spirits can be pretty challenging at times. At number 7, we have my game of the year. After several updates, Dragon's Dogma 2 now runs much better than it did at launch. Personally, I love medieval open-world RPGs, and this one has a really fun exploration system where you have to travel on foot 69 hours before you reach the next city. The unique combat system is also what made me love Dragon's Dogma 2. Grabbing onto giant monsters, trying to stab them in their weak points before you run out of stamina and get squashed like a fly is low-key the best thing in this game. Now let's move on to a completely different game. For me, COD, just like FIFA or any other game that comes out every year, is only worth playing through Game Pass. Black Ops 6's campaign is like 6 to 7 hours long, but Zombies is pretty good. Plus you can play it or any other multiplayer mode in split screen, and honestly, that's dope. I'm not even a COD fan, but whenever I play it online a little bit, I have a good time. The next game you should check out is Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, especially if, like me, you're a graphics whore, cause 6 months later, Hellblade 2 is still the best looking game ever. I mean, it's more of a tech demo where you just walk straight while two people whisper some weird shit in your ears. Sometimes you'll come across a puzzle that you can solve just by looking at shit. Don't worry, it gets a little more complicated later on. You'll have to put balls in their sockets and turn on lights with your torch. At least there's some combat, so if you like what you see, try the game out. Make sure to do that through Game Pass though, so when you're done with Hellblade 2 within 6 hours, you'll have some other games to play. Alright, let's have a look at the next one. Banishers Ghosts of New Eden is an underrated story-driven RPG where your choices actually matter. Apart from fighting beasts and ghosts, you'll be investigating locations, interrogating people, and banishing ghosts. The lip sync job is bad, which for a story-driven game is terrible. Keep in mind the game is a little bit woke, so if you can't stand that, then you should check out Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 instead. It's gruesome and super fun to play, even offline with bots. Space Marine 2 doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, it focuses on delivering a finished, well-polished experience, and that's so rare nowadays, I had to mention it. In my opinion, this is an old-school game in the best way possible. Speaking of older games, next we have Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. The gameplay clearly aged, there are more loading screens here than in Starfield, but beating the shit out of zombies with shopping carts and all kinds of other crazy objects never gets old. Don't forget you're a photographer, so try and take some awesome pics every now and then. This dude is pissed. If you don't want to end up like him, only grab this remaster when it's on sale, cause let's be honest, it's not worth 50 bucks. Speaking of which, if you're completely broke, then you'll be happy to know Genshin Impact just released on Xbox. It hasn't aged one bit, the graphics are still more than decent, and the game runs extremely well on Series X. If you're gonna be playing this for the first time, then you'll notice that it draws a lot of its inspiration from Zelda Breath of the Wild, and there is much more content now than there was 4 years ago, back when the game first came out, so make sure you have enough storage space, cause Genshin Impact is now a little over 100 gigabytes. Let me show you another game worth playing out of the ones we got this year. If you really want to play Helldivers 2 but you can't, then Starship Troopers Extermination is what you need. This one is a first-person shooter though, and you can play it with up to 15 friends. I don't have any, cause I'm a piece of shit, so I play with randoms, and it's just chaos. You can build some defensive structures, and as you can see, the number of enemies on screen is insane. Performance sucks dick though, so I really hope the devs fix it soon. Last but not least, I'ma go ahead and put Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on this list, even though at the moment of making this video, it's not out yet. But I just wanted to future-proof this video cause the game is coming out in 2 weeks. Bethesda's making this, so just don't expect a masterpiece or you'll be disappointed. But honestly, it looks fun, and we haven't had an Indiana Jones game in 15 motherfucking years, so I'm pretty sure all the fans are pumped. And that's gonna be it for the best Series X games of 2024. I tried to include as many exclusives as possible, but also some multi-platform games that I think every Xbox owner should play. If you found this video useful or funny, then please don't forget to support the channel with a thumbs up and a subscription. It's been Hitman89, have a good one.
I will not stop, I am prepared to get to the top, yeah, you must be rare. God, I'm like, hey